Hello, fourth grade. Today we're going to continue working on division, specifically focusing on partial quotients. First, I want to review and show you how division is related to multiplication. Notice here we have 27 divided by 3, which equals 9. We also know this is correct because 9 times 3 equals 27. Notice here we have 6 divided by 2 equals 3, and 3 times 2 equals 6. Here we have 36 divided by 9, which equals 4, and we know this is correct because 4 times 9 equals 36. Here we have 48 divided by 8, which is 6, and 6 times 8 equals 48. Notice you can use this to help you check any division problem, and I hope you understand that knowing your facts and being able to recall them will help make solving division problems much easier for you. Here we have 659 divided by 4. Now I used partial quotients here to solve. First thing I did was draw a line down the side here. Now notice what I did here was I took it digit by digit, except I first started with my divisor of 4. 4 times something gets me close to, this time, 659. So 4 times 100 is 400. Now, yes, I can get closer to 659, but 4 times 100 was something really easy and quick I could recall. So I chose 100. You could have chosen something larger, and that's fine, but this was something very simple to recall, and that's okay, because now I'll just continue the same steps, getting down to a very small number. So now 4 times 100 is 400. I subtract, I'm left with 259. Now I have 4 times 6 is 24, but 4 times 60 is 240. So now if I take 259 minus 240, I'm left with 19. But I'm not done yet. Now I can do 4 times 4 is 16. Now 19 minus 16 gives me a remainder of 3. Except I'm not done. To find my quotient, I take all the numbers on the side and I'm going to add them together. So I have 100 plus 60 plus 4. Notice this is actually my quotient in expanded form. So when I add these together, I get 164, but I can't forget about my remainder from before, remainder 3. Now the only difference is instead of putting my numbers on top over here, I put them on the side and then added them together when I was all done. This is just another method to help you solve a long division problem. In this problem, again, I use partial quotients. I have 267 divided by 8. Now, I know that 8 times 3 is 24, and 8 times 30 is 240, which got me pretty close to 267. Now, again, 8 times 30 was something I can quickly recall. Giving me 240, I subtract and I'm left with 27. But now, 8 times 3 is 24, which got me really close to 27. When I subtract, I'm left with my remainder of 3. Now I know this is my remainder because it is less than my divisor. If this number is ever larger than your divisor, then you can continue dividing. Now I'm almost done. I'm taking the numbers on my side and I'm adding them together. So I have 30 plus 3, which is 33. But 33 is my quotient with a remainder of 3. So 33 remainder 3 is the answer to this division problem. Now today you're going to see problems like this. We have 860 divided by 5 equals 172 remainder something. Your goal is to figure out what that remainder is. That means you have to do the long division. Now you know your quotient is going to be 172, so yes, you could do a few other methods. You could do 172 times 5 and see if that gets you close to 860, and then you can always take that product and subtract from 860. Since today we're practicing partial quotients, I want to focus on the long division and remind you how to do long division. So here, I'm going to take this step by step. First thing I'm going to do is I did set this up, 860 divided by 5, and I put a line down the side to help me figure out my answer and keep these numbers separated. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to start 5 times something gets me close to 860. Well, I do know that 5 times 100 is 500, so I'll just start there. Yes, I'm sure I could get closer, but that's something I can quickly recall. So I'm just going to use something easy that I was able to recall pretty quickly. So now I'm left with 8 minus 5 is 360. So now 5 times something gets me close to 360. Well, I know that 5 times 7 is 35. So 5 times 70 is 350. So now when I subtract here, I'm left with 10. And I know that 5 times 2 is 10. And in fact, I have no remainder. But let's just confirm that this answer is correct. So 100 plus 70 plus 2. So let's see, 100 plus 70 plus 2 gives me 172. But notice here I proved that there was no remainder. So when there's no remainder, you don't even need to write R0. However, for the purpose of this problem, 172, remainder 0. For today's work, you would be selecting 0 as your answer here because it's asking for the remainder. Now, if you chose to use multiplication, if you did 172 times 5, you would find that you land at 860, which is going to also prove that you have no remainder. Now for this problem here, we have 719 divided by 5 equals 143 remainder something. So here I have 719 divided by 5. Now, if you would like to use the standard algorithm for this, that's completely fine. I'm showing you partial quotients here as a reminder, as another method you can choose to do when you're solving a division problem. As you're working today, you can choose either method you want. Now, 5 times something gets me close to 719. Well, I know 5 times 100 is 500, so I'm going to use that again. It was something I can quickly recall. So now when I subtract here, I'm left with 219. And I do know that 5 times 4 is 20. So 5 times 40 is 200. Now when I subtract here, I'm left with just 19. And I do know that 5 times 3 is 15. And when I subtract, I'm left with 4. And notice 4 is less than my divisor, so I know I'm finished. Now I'm going to take my numbers on the side and I'm going to add them together. 100 plus 40 plus 3, which happens to be my quotient that I have, 143, written in expanded form. Now 143 is my quotient, but I do have a remainder of 4. So now when they're asking for my answer here, the question's only asking for my remainder, which is 4. But notice I had to do the division here to help me find my remainder. So now you can also do 143 times 5, which equals 719. And then you're going to find that it didn't get you exactly to 719. In fact, it probably got you to close to that, and you would have to subtract and figure out what your remainder is. Now, during today's activities, you are welcome to use partial quotients. You are welcome to use the standard algorithm. The first video on grade 4 division focuses on the standard algorithm. This video focuses on partial quotients. You can select either method for today's activities. However, I hope that you identify a method that works best for you and stick with that method and use that as we continue to practice division. As always, you can refer back to either video on my YouTube channel.